Hello there folks, welcome back to RJB TV, where today we're going to look at a 2v2 game between Brain and Lucky against Doromi and Byul. Two of the very best 2v2 teams on all of Fastest Map. Arguably, maybe the two best teams on all of Fastest Map. Although, I do have to, of course, admit that there's also still players like Shin and Gensei and Kong, who you could also put into, who you could interchange with any of these players, and the teams would still be equally good. There's about 6 or 8 players who are all just equally good at 2v2 and 3v3, and 4 of those players are here playing against each other. We got Dorom and Gom. Dorom here on the red Protoss, and then we've got Gom here, also known as Byul, on the teal Protoss. Then we've got Brain on the pink Protoss, and Lucky on the pale blue Protoss. It's almost gray, but it's a slight bit of blue in there. Sometimes the colors are a little bit confusing, but this is definitely pale blue, 2v2, Protoss mirror matchup. What's gonna happen? Oh, I can't click on the probe. Come on, probe. I've got it. Let's chase and follow the probe around as we talk about what we can expect in this game. Oftentimes, these 2v2 games between these very high level players, they kind of end pretty quick because any small little advantage more or less immediately means and implies that a team loses the game. The advantages built and lost are instantaneous. The games are fast, the pace is high. It is killingly high. So here we see the first little deviation from Team Dead, where Byul goes for Nexus, well, Gateway. Nexus, Gateway, Forge, Gateway, whereas his partner went for Triple Gateway, into a Forge, and both of the players on Team Brain Lucky went for Triple Gateway Forge. And a Gaster at 2 minutes from Brain is Forge a little bit delayed. Actually, he isn't even getting a Forge at all. He's skipping his Forge to get faster gas. Zealot there out on the map from the ROM, going for Brain, and Brain Zealot is going for Byul's probes. And he doesn't have a Zealot of his own just yet, but it will spawn right about now when this Zealot starts hammering away on the cannon. So action on both sides here. Probe line unprotected for Brain. Probe line slightly protected there for Byul. Brain is losing one probe. The ROM, likewise under attack from that one Zealot, has 1 kill. So we've seen some probe deaths here and there. 1 kill on that Zealot as well. More Zealots are arriving on the scene. The ROM is lagging behind a little bit. Byul is in danger. He might pay the price for going Nexus first in a 2v2 where both of his opponents are going for Triple Gateway before anything else. And we are seeing the pain being dealt down and delivered straight to the front door because Byul is losing probes, losing Zealots, losing cannons. He is hurting quite bad. A double Gaster in the back, but he can't even mine gas because he's under attack. It is painful to watch. More Zealot there coming from the ROM to try and save his partner. His partner is taking real heavy damage. It looks like Byul got... Well, this is kind of a rock, paper, scissors situation. Whoever goes for the Nexus first build order is going to take way more damage than the opponent. It's pure rock, paper, scissors. If any of the players on Brain and Lucky's team had gone for Nexus first, while Byul is also going Nexus first, we wouldn't be looking at the situation, but they gambled correctly. They just had the build order advantage, and the game is pretty much already over. Maybe the ROM can turn the game around, maybe he can't. Maybe he can, but Byul paid the price for his hubris. He risked it, and it didn't work out. Dragoon Ranger on the way for Brain, and we have Cybercore there also getting Dragoon range for Lucky, whereas we have the ROM going for Citadel of Adun and 5 gateways. A lot of deviations from each other happening right now. Brain and Lucky are more or less doing the exact same thing though. It's largely Dorom and Byul that are deviating from what is standard in my opinion. Although this is quite standard to go for Citadel of Doom first into Zealot Speed and maybe even Dark Templars. Level 1 attack should also be coming up at the same time. It's being researched. We have no Forge for Brain, but it's now warping in. Got level 1 attack on the way for Lucky as well. Final in the middle is going somewhat in favor of Dorom because his mass is so huge. But he's fighting 1v2 on the middle. So when Lucky gets a surround on those Zealots from Dorom, it is going to be a GG. And he does. He gets in behind on those Zealots. He goes away there though. His Brain isn't flanking yet. He's focused on the Dragoons fighting against the Zealots there on the side. Zealot against Zealot fight there happening on the middle. Dorom's supply lead is huge. But it is offset by Byul having pretty much no army at all. He's winning the fight there against Lucky though. Very well fought. But now there's a huge army going straight into the backside of Byul's base, and Byul calls GG, Dorom calls GG. They know they lost the game. The gamble didn't work out as intended. Which means we get 1 win there for Team Lucky and Brain, and no wins for Team Dorom and Byul. So let's look for game number 2 between these two players. Well, 4 players. Usually I'm casting 1v1, so I can say, let's look for a new game between these 2 players. But now that I'm casting a 2v2, I also have to change the words I use and be more careful with what I say. Game number 2. 1 win for Brain Lucky, and Dorom Byul, of course, hungry to get their own first win in this game number 2, where we're switching the races up a little bit and we're going for Protoss Terran against Protoss Terran. Here we're looking at Dorom on the bottom middle of the map. On the Hill Green Protoss, then we've got his partner on the 11 o'clock spawn location on the yellow Terran. Then we've got Brain here on the purple Terran, and Lucky here on the blue Protoss. Protoss Terran against Protoss Terran. The Koreans, they most of the time play mirror matchups. They don't play random against random or Protoss random, unlike what most of the foreigners do when they play 2v2. Koreans largely play mirror matchups because it is most fair. It is also very skill intense. There's no race advantages when players are picking mirror matchups. Only the best performing team wins. No race matchup shenanigans. For example, Protoss Terran against Protoss Zerg. Protoss Terran has a very high chance to win. Protoss Zerg, a smaller chance. And then there's matchups like Terran-Terran against Protoss Zerg. Protoss Zerg still has the advantage in that one. Then there's Terran-Zerg against Protoss Terran, which is an absolute disaster for Terran-Zerg. And then there's Protoss against Terran-Zerg, which is even worse. And lastly, we have Terran-Zerg against Protoss Terran. Basically, the bottom line is whatever team doesn't have a Protoss tends to have a huge disadvantage. That is why they pick mirror matchups to even the playing floor, the playing ground, and get the most fair matches that, you know, deliver some interesting gameplay. Triple gateway from both the Protosses, and Brain is actually going for a slightly different build than Byul. You see, it's like he went for an 8 supply barracks in the front, into double supply depot in the back, whereas Byul... Wait, Byul's doing the exact same thing? Both players going for early Marines into a slower factory so that they can use their Marines to maybe attack their opponents. I kind of like this. Usually what they do is they get gas and supply depot on 8 supply, and then a barracks, and then 2 factories at the same time. But this time around, it's 2 delayed factories, more Marines on the map, more fighting happening, more action, more micro. Oh, he's building a bunker there in the front, but he's got 3 Marines are on the scene. Kills the SCV. Bunker gets cancelled. Now Marines are killing the Marines, and Marines are dying to the Marines, but the Marines do come out on top and survive as the Marines do run away from the other Marines. The Marines are on the chase to kill the Marines that are chasing and running. Now it does look like Byul wins because he has the defender's advantage, because there's less traveling distance for the Marines spawning in his own base to join the fight compared to Brain's Marines. And now the factory there finished up for Brain, and factory finished up there for Byul. They got a 3rd factory on the way for both players. While there's also a fight happening between Lucky and Dorom. Lucky is trying to cannon wall Dorom's entrance, but Dorom wins the exchange there quite heavily because Lucky has 13 probes, which means Dorom killed more probes than Lucky killed. So he's lost 5 probes and Dorom has lost 2. And Lucky now also losing the block that he tried to build. He lost at least the pylon, but I think the other structures are all getting cancelled. Also, maybe I have to adjust the sound a little bit because the sound might be a little bit high. So let's put it a little bit lower. Another probe there for Dorom goes down. Lucky is getting a small little pushback on Dorom. Fight on the middle is won by Byul. Brain losing his Vultures, losing his Marines, losing his SCVs. Byul, though, is still behind in supply. Somehow. Not sure how, but he's behind in supply. Although now the supply is evened up. Dorom is pushing into Brain. Brain's units are away from home. Lucky's going to try to save his partner. But Dragoons there on the scene are just going to throw a wrench into his plans. Dragoons are an absolute counter against Vultures. And Lucky, who tried to cannon block and cannon wall Dorom, couldn't get gas because he had to use the same minerals on pylons and cannons. So the Dragoons are out for Dorom and the Dragoons are winning the fight. SCVs are dying, a barracks blocking the minerals so he can no longer put SCVs on the minerals. Very highly annoying. Oops, my bad. My hand hit the touchpad. Brain is dying pretty badly. Supply difference, it's 50 for Byul, 30 for Brain. Also, the block 8 once again goes down. Dorom absolutely hard carrying the game. Destroys Lucky's block, destroys Lucky's probes, and then destroys Brain as well, which allows Byul to mass up unopposed and grow pretty damn big. So now we got one win for both players. So far, these players are evenly matched. Watching these guys play, in my opinion, always delivers really good games. Because this is literally 4 players who are at, well, 3 players who are professional level StarCraft players. Dorom is a former semi-professional, Byul also a former semi-professional, and the same goes for Brain. They're all former semi-professionals, and they've all played in the ASL. Byul has even played in the ASL twice. Dorom once, Brain once. Brain got into the top 12, Byul and Dorom both got into the top 24. So both players are really good. About Lucky, I don't know too much about Lucky. I just know Lucky as a fastest map player. I do know that Lucky at one point was a pretty high S-ranked player on the official Brute War ladder. But aside from that, I know nothing about Lucky's past and history as maybe a semi-professional, maybe a professional, or is he just a regular amateur player? I just don't know much about Lucky. So this time around, we got Byul here on the Zerg. And then we've got Dorom here on the blue Protoss. Then we've got Lucky on the green Zerg, and Brain on the bottom corner as the pink or magenta pink Protoss. So they're switching things up with players switching around on races a little bit here and there every single game. There will, I think, be a Protoss in every single game. Maybe in one game there won't be a Protoss, I'm not too sure, but usually most of the time it is the Protoss stays in and the Zerg and Terran and the Protoss switch around. There's always a Protoss plus random mix. So triple gateway there coming out from Dorom. Nexus coming out from Brain, which is very risky. This is a very risky call, and maybe just like in game number 1, Brain might pay the price for going for Nexus first, although he's also getting a forge into a gateway, so he will at least have cannons out in his base to protect his probes and to protect from the aggression that will be coming his way from both Byul and Dorom, although Lucky himself is also going for a very risky higher economy build order compared to Byul. That's Hatchery, Pool, Hatchery, whereas Byul went for 9 Pool, 9 Gas, 9 Hatchery, Overlord, and then another Hatchery. So they're both playing. I'd say Byul will have Zerglings out on the map faster than Lucky, and Lucky will have to get a Sunken to protect himself from those Zerglings. His worker count is 1 higher than Byul, which might, if the game goes on longer than 5 minutes, that will wind up being an advantage for Lucky. But that is only in the case that Dorom and Byul do not damage either Brain or Lucky so much that the drone advantage for Lucky isn't going to pay off. The same for Brain. Brain will have a probe advantage over Dorom. So Lucky and Brain are playing this for the mid game or the late game by focusing on economy and defense, whereas Byul and Dorom are going all out on the aggression. Of course, Brain going for Nexus first means that it's going to be easy to wall him off with cannons and then to attack him with Zerglings and Zealots. 2 cannons on the scene there for Brain, trying to wall off, but the Zerglings make their way through, get on top of the cannon. This is dangerous situation. This is a very dangerous situation for Brain. The Zealots are getting surrounded, more Zealots are on the way. Zerglings are achieving a lot of results, going straight for the probes. Probes are unstacking, which is very bad there for Brain. Lucky is going for an attack there on Dorom. Dorom has no cannons in the back and no Zealots at home either. Cannon finishes up. Probes are trying to block, but the cannon goes down, gets cancelled. Whereas here in Brain's base, he's also still under heavy attack, under heavy assault. Things are looking too good. Probes are going down there for Dorom though. Lucky is getting a good counterattack off on Dorom, who tried to play it risky as well in return because he saw there was no Zealots on the map for Brain. He was trying to counterbalance the lack of Zealots from Brain by going for faster advanced technology, by neglecting his defenses, but his defenses are now getting torn to shreds. The Zealots are here back at home, while Brain is getting attacked by Zerglings, and he's still hurting. He's lost some probes, lost some cannons, lost some pylons. He's hurting non-stop. And Byul there gets in between the Nexuses. He needs a cannon. He needs a cannon to kill this one Zergling. Oh, relocates a little bit. Cannons are on the way. Nexus is going to take a lot of damage. More Zerglings are streaming in. Got Lucky going for a counterattack on Byul. Byul has got a Sunken there on the way. The Sunken is finished up. Zerglings won't hurt him too much. He's just going to kill drones. Can't kill the drones because the drones run away. Cannons are almost finished warping in. Nexus is below half HP. Cannons gonna have to finish very soon and kill those Zerglings because the Nexus is taking a lot of damage, which is gonna make it easy to take down later on in the game. But at least he has 32 probes. His economy is booming. So the Nexus has about 350 HP remaining. That is something to focus on to take down later on. Brain there building a proxy gateway base inside Dorom's base in the corner. Lucky going for another attack there on Dorom. Dorom is trying to hold on to this block, but the block is gonna get taken down there by Brain because his Zealot count has grown while Dorom was losing Zealots pretty much all game long. Got to drop their repair back at home. Got Support Bay and Tempest Archive as well. Lucky gonna kill the probes. Probes getting pulled to the gas where they are protected by the cannon. Cannon there protecting the base pretty well. Now Zerg is coming in from Byul to try and stop the Zerg from Lucky from dealing damage. Quick peek back here. Zergs have been taken down. Drops almost prepared, almost finished up. Reaver on the way. Dark Templars being queued up as well. We have 5 Sunkens, a couple of Zerglings, and 20 drones. Byul has in response himself droned up as well to try and catch up at Lucky. Lucky down 26 drones. We got 40 probes there for Brain. Down 6 gateways. Dragoon range on the way. Citadel of the Dune there on the bottom side with Zealot lags on the way. He's building... What's he gonna build there? This is really funky stuff. Sneaking gateways into Dorom's base to try and backstab him. Because Dorom is not really going for a big defensive build order. There's only 2 cannons in the back. If Brain can get enough Zealots up and running, he can just run straight in and kill the cannons and hurt him quite bad. But the Templars on the middle of the map there from Dorom, getting control over the map. Brain might be going straight for Byul, who has 4 Sunkens. 1 is still morphing. Now we got an attack coming out there on Brain. Dorom with great Reaver Shuttle Micro trying to get in on top of the cannons to kill them, to open up the path for the Dark Templars. Reaver in the back taking some heavy shots, gets taken down. We got 5 cannons there around the Nexus. he should be able to keep those cannons alive and prevent the Dark Temples from killing him. Or here, a pretty good wall has been built to keep the Sunkens safe from those Zealots. But now Lucky's coming in with Hydralisks. They're gonna go focus down the Hydralisk den. Or maybe just gonna go straight for whatever they can. Zergans are spawning. Drum is coming back in as well. They're going for the hatchery. Bill's trying to prevent the loss of the hatchery, but the Hydralisk kill it and take it down. Now microing away. This is a huge blow to Team Dorom and Byul. Team Doromi and Byul did not want that to happen. Dark Temples right on the scene, but the Hydralisks have done their job and they're running away, and so are Brain's Zealots. He's still building Zealots on the top corner, still only 3 cannons here on the bottom. Dorom hasn't spotted it yet. This might catch him off guard. Brain there trying to go for the big brain plays. Dark Temples killing his gateways as well here back at home. Nexus is recovering slightly. Lucky supply has grown big. Brain is a massive worker lead. Zealots are at the top corner will be spotted out the gateways with an Overlord from Byul, and now they're going to kill it before it becomes effective. But there's a lot of Zealots there on the left, and Hydralisks from the right. Overlord there for detection against the Dark Templars. More Zealots coming in there from Brain to assist those Hydralisks in killing this army that Dorom has. Dorom has lost all the supply already. This is a great pincer move, pincer mover, pincer attack. Byul's units are locked into this top corner. They can no longer protect the backside there. Cannons are under attack, under siege. Brain and Lucky, their gamble paid off, went for the economy, and now they are coming in full stride, ready to hit hard and attack and kill whatever they can. He's going for the Nexus. Reaver there on the bottom side. Nexus taking heavy shots, heavy damage, getting us around on everything from every single direction. Reaver trying to save the day, but it can't. Nexus goes down. Both Byul and Dorom lost their mains, which means, of course, that Brain and Lucky win the game with some really good coordination and high tempo gameplay. That was sick. The gamble paid off. Dorom and Byul couldn't do enough damage to both Lucky or Brain to secure himself an advantage that remained and stayed. Maybe Dorom going for very fast drop or very fast Reaver, maybe it wasn't the right choice. Maybe the fast Dark Templar wasn't the right choice. Maybe he should have focused more on just going for a pure raw mass attack. Because going for advanced technology that early on, it does cost you army supply, because you need more probes to mine more gas, which means less probes to mine more minerals, which means less minerals to build more units, which of course does snowball as the game goes on, specifically when one of the enemies goes for a high economy build order. And in that game specifically, both Brain and Lucky went for high economy build orders. I think that maybe Dorom should have pushed the advantage from having an early game build order a little bit more to offset that greater economy. Dorom now on the Zerg. We've got Byul here on the Terran. We've got Lucky on the Zerg once again, and Brain here on the Terran, returning on the Terran. It's a Terran-Zerg against Terran-Zerg. There's no Protoss remaining in the game, which makes this one rather interesting. What are they gonna do in this Terran against Zerg mirror matchup? A mirror matchup we don't really often see, but which in my opinion can be really interesting. Brain going for a barrack first on 8 or 9 supply. This is very aggressive from Brain. We've got Byul going for the standard 2 factory build order. Brain has no gas yet, might go for a second barracks. This is a barrack supply bunker rush build order, and I hope for Brain that this is gonna work out. Byul is pretty far away from where Brain is, and I think Brain would have liked to maybe bunker rush Byul, but because Byul is on the other side of the map, that might not work. So instead they are switching over into blocking off Dorom's entrance with a bunker and a supply depot, and maybe another supply depot other on the bottom side. The Zerglings won't be able to get through. The Zerglings though almost finished up. Zerglings also on the way there for Lucky. Lucky did not go for a hatchery, whereas Byul did. So Byul's Zerglings are a little bit slower onto the map. Got Lucky already on the middle, ready to fight and join the party, ready to protect the bunker there in the front. SCP there scouting the base to see what Dorom has, because they haven't scouted his base yet. Sees hatchery. Zerglings trying to leave, getting walled off, sealed up, locked into the base. Whereas Byul now progressing onto double factory bunker there being constructed as well. And here Brain is getting his own very first factory. Doesn't have enough gas or minerals yet to get a second factory, but in turn they do have a wall on Dorom. So interesting progression, interesting difference between the two. So far, Dorom and Byul have been playing more standard, and Brain and Lucky have been playing a little bit tricky. And perhaps a little bit more advanced, but also a little bit more risky. Is it gonna pay off? We got triple factory, they're on the way, one finished up, one factory getting delayed and one getting cancelled. Is on top of SCP number 2, factory number 2, they're under attack, under heavy siege, taking heavy damage. The 3 Marines are in the bunker, Zerglings are going down, gonna try to fix up that factory before the factory itself goes down. Vulture spawns to kill the Zerglings. Zerglings are gonna achieve their goal of killing the factory, it gets cancelled. So now both Brain and Byul have one factory. The advantage that Byul tried to build by going for a regular build order has been denied. Factory has been denied. So only one factory Vulture production, whereas Brain almost has his second factory finished up. He is definitely in the lead over Byul. Supply counts are slightly, well, almost the same. Small little difference there between all the players. Dorom has more supply than Lucky because he went for a hatchery first, which of course means he's got faster access to more larvae, whereas Lucky delaying the hatchery, it takes a little bit more time to get access to extra larvae for extra production, but he's now going for a lot of hatcheries. Because Dorom is walled off, locked up in his base, cannot enter the middle, can kill the one SCP there though, but now Brain's Vultures are entering Dorom's base. Dorom gets a surround on a Vulture, great move, gets a surround on the other one as well. Brain overstepped, and now Dorom still cannot leave the contain. Because there's Zerglings from Lucky, who's keeping a watchful eye on Dorom's movements to make sure Dorom doesn't leave that confinement. And now Byul there trying to build an advantage on the middle by using Vulture Micro, because Brain no longer has Vultures on the middle, which means of course Byul has more freedom on the middle, but the Zerglings are pretty damn fast and they get us around on 2 Vultures, Vultures 2 going down. Now a mineral block there coming out from Byul doesn't actually entirely wall off the mineral patch, because you can still somewhat click on it, I believe. Somewhere here around the bottom edge. Well, actually, maybe he did a perfect job of sealing it off. I can't click on it. Maybe if I'm playing the game, I can, but now I simply can't. Oh, he pulls it away. Evo Chamber there being morphed, so double sunken, well, double creep for double spore to kill the barrack. Dorom is going for a very fast Mutalisk. He's got 16 drones. Huge advantage over Lucky, which means the spores Lucky's building are also going to help him defend against the Mutalisks. We've got Goliaths coming out there from Brain. Also has more Marines there on the map. Going to try to go for a side attack there onto Dorom. Dorom has a lot of circles and something there, though, so he should be fine. He should be fine, although all of the Zerglings are dead and gone. Zerglings are under attack. Zerglings are dying. Counter-attack there from Byul onto Lucky. A lot of Zerglings there though. Who's going to win this fight? Who's going to win the exchange? He's focused firing on the drones. One more Sunken there goes down. One Sunken is still left alive. Drones are getting target fired there by Brain. Drones are being pulled away. Likewise here on Lucky's base, the Goliaths from Byul have won the fight against the Zerglings. More Zerglings are on the way. Intense fight. Goliaths are murderizing the Mutalisks. Drones are trying to sway the fight. Dorom is no longer mining minerals, he only got 4 drones left alive. Goliaths are dying in the corner, Zerglings are still there on the scene. Goliaths from Byul here are killing the Zerglings so easily, but now Brain is coming in to save the day and kill the Goliaths from Byul. Byul being driven into a corner, Byul losing the fight. Supply lead in favor of Byul still at the moment, because Byul has more tanks and Goliaths entering the middle. Brain going for another attack, another hit there on Dorom. Dorom trying to kill the barrack, blocking his minerals. Mutalisk now going for a counter-attack onto Lucky, because Lucky couldn't morph spores. He had to morph Sunkens instead, because the Goliaths were hunting him down and attacking him. I think this game is going to come down to whether Byul can use his siege tanks to get himself a definitive lead over Lucky and Brain. But Zergans are getting us around on all those units. Tanks are taking heavy damage. Goliaths are chasing them down. Tank goes down. Tank number 2, they're also under attack, getting surrounded. Byul is trying to micro as best he can. The Mule is not really providing much support. More Goliaths are coming from the middle to kill the Mutas, and Byul lost his army. Supply lead is huge for Brain over Byul. They are in trouble. Dorom has no drones. A couple of Goliaths snuck in and killed the remaining drones, so that means Byul is definitively completely out of the game. 39 minerals, no drones, he is out. So now it all comes down to Byul. Is Byul gonna survive this attack there from Lucky and Brain? So Zerg's getting on top of the tanks. Tanks getting taken down. Goliath's pushing forward. The micro is great here on display. He's trying really hard, but he simply doesn't have enough. The numbers are too great for Byul to survive, and Brain and Lucky win game number 4, which means I gotta update the score because I forgot to update the score all this time. We've got 3 wins for Lucky and Brain because the 1 win from Dorom and Byul, and now we're going to game number 5. That might decide or might not decide the final result of this best of set between these 2 powerhouse teams, and so far Brain and Lucky are looking very, very, very strong. Arguably the best team on fastest map. Lucky and Brain, their teamwork is insane. Byul and Dorom also not doing too bad, but they're just getting outpaced, outbrained. Brain living up to his name with very smart strategies, in my opinion, very smart strategies. Really liking what I'm seeing. So Dorom here on the Zerg once again, and we've got Byul on the bottom corner on the Protoss. Usually, I would see Dorom playing Protoss, but Byul wants to take on the mantle of the Protoss. And we've got Brain on the Protoss and Lucky again on the Zerg. What I think these players do is Dorom and Byul are both about equally good on Zerg, Terran, and Protoss. They're both originally Terran players on the normal maps. They're very good on Terran. Professional level Terrans. Brain is a professional level Terran and Protoss. So he plays Protoss and Terran. And Lucky is an almost professional level Zerg and Protoss. So he plays Protoss and Zerg. So whenever they play Protoss Terran, we have Brain on the Terran, Lucky on the Protoss, and otherwise we always have Brain on the Protoss, Lucky on the Zerg. Lucky going for a hatchery first. Dorom going for hatchery first into a spawning pool. And Brain and Byul both going for triple gateway. Wait. That's a double hatchery from Lucky. Once again, playing it a little bit more ballsy than Dorom and Byul. Byul and Dorom are going to have to do some real heavy lifting, some real heavy hard punching on Brain if they want to build a lead in this game. Forge already on the way there for Brain. And Byul is actually pretty far away from Brain, so he might not be able to attack Brain before Brain has a cannon warped in to protect his pros. Now sometimes spawning distances, they do affect what you can do offensively early on. If Byul was, for example, here on the 3 o'clock, he could walk over to Brain's base way faster and maybe arrive on location before the cannon finishes up and kill a cannon or a probe, which might have built him a small advantage, a small lead that he could use and snowball as the game goes on. Actually, the current score is kind of blocking the... Let's move it to the side a little bit. Now it's no longer blocking Dorom's name. So Lucky, triple hat, 4 hatcheries in total. Triple hatchery from Dorom. Dorom already... He's not going for Zerg, he's going for a very fast lair into very fast Mutalisks. So they are playing far from standard. They're switching things up a lot, which makes these games highly interesting because I myself am a 2v2 and 3v3 player, and seeing all these adaptations and alterations to the build orders, I'm liking it. They're always trying to catch their opponents off guard and build small little advantages here and there by just doing things a little bit differently, trying to get small little leads with their build orders where their opponents wouldn't do those small little different things. Lucky and Brain now, though, pushing forward onto Byul. Byul getting pushed back. He's warping in cannon to try and protect himself, but it's an overpowering force, overpowering numbers. They're pushing Byul back away from the middle. Cannons getting killed, cannons getting cancelled. Now he has to retreat back to his nexus, where he's got 1 cannon and 4 gateways. Got a Gaster on the way as well. While here in Dorom's base, we have a Spire morphing in the back. He's going for a very fast Mutalisk for a very strong attack. We have a Cybercore there from Brain. Hasn't mined a lot of gas yet. Getting a Citadel of a Doom level 1 attack. Finding a little bit more gas to get Zealot's speed. They're arriving in Dorom's base. Dorom has no Mutalisk warping in yet. He's getting more Sunkens. Trying to stay alive and prevent disaster because they are hunting and they're planning on killing. Zerglings have an easy way getting through to hit the Sunkens. Drones getting full of the minerals. Spire in the back, almost finished up, but still has to morph the Mutalisks themselves. Drones are dying. Sunkens are under attack. Got Zealots coming from behind, from Byul. Want to try to save his ally. Oh, there's so many Zealots, so many Zerglings. It looks like Brain and Lucky might have just done this with a very simple but very strategic move of simply having more units and having a very well-timed attack here on Dorom. Dorom has 5 drones, he's still alive. The remaining drones are under attack and hunted down by Zerglings and Zealots. The last Sunken also under attack. Dorom trying to block, trying to keep running around with those drones, trying to stay alive for the Mutalisks to arrive, and they're here on the scene, ready to participate and ready to strike. But more Zealots and Zerglings coming in. Drones are not safe. Byul is trying to stop those Zealots from killing the drones. 30 Mutalisks got Sunkens morphing on the side. They're building Sunkens inside of Dorom's base. Oof, this is so... Oh wait, they're Spores. They're building Spores, and not Sunkens. Spores are finished up. Mutalisks are under attack, taking damage. That was a really smart Spore construction inside of his base. Zealots and Zerglings still keep streaming across the map. The Mutalisks are too small in number to really stand a chance against the Zealots and the Zerglings. These games have been going very fast, and they're just always playing as if they can kill the opponent. Drones once again getting attacked. Got 7. Soon we'll have number 6. 6 drones. 5 drones. 4 drones. Dorom is bleeding out. 1 drone alive. It's still safe and sound. 73 minerals. And they clear out the army that was attacking him. But more units keep coming across. He's got no drones. No drones. Zealots of speed running straight in. Got Tempest Archive on the way and Dragoon range as well. Of 1 armor, they're also being researched for Brain. Byul has the supply lead, but Dorom is so far behind that he only has his Mutalisks, nothing else. He only has his Mutalisks. It's going to be very difficult for them to claw himself back into the game. Got 4 cannons there at the Nexus for Brain, so his Nexus is protected. Got Spores coming in there for Lucky. He's on 19 drones now. Doesn't really have a lot of armies. Some Zerglings coming in to kill the last remaining drone that Dorom might have. He's deciding not to make a drone. Going for Overlords now, kills 1 Overlord. Zealots there from Byul trying to push onto Brain, but Brain has Dragoons and Zealots that are slightly superior to those Zealots. Zealots now coming right back in, trying to get us around on the Dragoons. Dragoons are microing backwards, microing away to the cannons in the back. Stuff like Templars on the way there for Byul, trying to secure the middle of the map with his Dark Templars, trying to leverage invisibility in his advantage. Got cannons being built there in the choke of Lucky to try and protect him from Dark Templars and Zealots marching into his base. Byul is winning the fight here in Brain's base. Brain is microing away. The micro from Dorom with the Mutas is superb. great to watch. He made one drone to mine minerals and try and recover and get back into the game. Yeah, Byul is playing this one really well. He's got a huge army, and he's really keeping Brain on his toes. But Lucky now with 32 drones, he's growing big, growing massive, growing strong. And the longer this goes on, at some point, Lucky will have Hydralisks on the map to turn the tide. Comes in from the side. He really wants to kill those cannons in the back, but he can't get on top of the cannons. Our Templars are in the front killing pylons to stop construction from those gateways. Dark Templar running into the cannons there though, and there's detection from the Overlords in the air. So that didn't work out too well. Level 1 attack there, and level 1 armor on the way there for Drom or Byul. What's level 2 attack, level 1 armor. Dragoon range also being researched. Dragoons are coming out a little bit late, a little bit slow. Overlord there is protecting the drone by hovering on top of it. Templar gets sniped by the Mutas. The Muta control, really beautiful to watch. Lucky now 38 drones, 8 hatcheries, double Hydralisk Den. Hydralisks themselves will soon enter the map and turn the tide. 20 supply lead there for Byul over Brain. Brain has more workers though, and a lot of cannons. And he's got High Templars on the way as well to maybe storm. Oh, Zelda sneaking in. Getting on top of a drone. Drone stays alive. Drone stays alive. Good move there though from Brain. So Byul now gonna build cannons on the middle to try and at least get control over the middle. This game is getting closer than I thought it would be. Rom still flying back and forth there with the Mutalisks. Finds the cannons. Finds the Hydralisks now entering the middle. I think both Byul and Rom now know that the game is almost over. Or is already over. Got both Lucky and Brain entering the middle. Trying to stop the cannons. Flanking from the left. Hydralisk coming in. Cannons finishing up. Huge army there from Byul. But Byul's losing units. Brain's army is now officially bigger. Templars are on the scene. They don't have Storm yet. Storm is still researching. If only he had Storm finished up already, he could storm the Hydralisks and the Dragoons to death and turn the tide. Cannons are contributing. Looks like Byul might hold on for a little while longer. He's got Archon morphing now as well. Overlord for Drom goes down. Drom now on 16 drones. Mutalisks are still flying on the side, killing Overlords from Lucky. I think this is now a done deal. I think this is now a done deal. Dragoons, Hydralisks on the middles, controlling the map, and now going right to the top corner to finish off Drom. Byul doesn't have enough units. He's got still about the same supply as Brain. But we have a combined army of Lucky and Brain marching right in to finish what they started 7 minutes ago. This is a GG. This is it, boys. This is it. Lucky and Brain win 4 games out of 5. Rom and Byul fought heroically. They fought well, pushed themselves to the limits, but it looks like they got outbrained by the Lucky Brain team. Everything worked out as they had planned. The Rom is pretty much dead and gone. He's got some drones morphing, has 454 minerals, so he can still build a hatchery and maybe recover. But is Byul big enough? Both Drom and Byul are about equally big. Drom has more army, but their workers are at the same number. They also have about the same tech progression, the same structures, the same gateways. Byul's army though, 50 supply difference, 60 supply difference on Brain. But Brain is recovering. Byul has a drop being built. Drone there from the Rom escaping to the bottom side. Byul going for one final desperate attack onto Brain, but Mulists are entering the map now as well, going for the Templars. Templars getting taken down. Lucky is on 135 supply, got 63 drones, he built up really quick, a lot of hatcheries, he got 13 hatcheries in total. He's huge. He's got a supply lead over both Byul and Brain. Lucky is dominating the game, officially turning the tide, storming onto Mutas though. Mutas not dodging the storms, so he's taking some real big damage. But he doesn't have enough energy for all those Templars to kill all the Mutas, so the game is over. Beautifully played from both teams, but Lucky Brain, they really played quite the game. They really played quite the game. So the final score, 4 wins for Brain and Lucky. And I've got 1 win for Doromi and Byul, which, you know, they played almost on an equal level. Very impressive stuff. But in most games, their build orders were simply outmatched by Brain and Lucky, doing slightly better build orders. A lot of it was gambling though. Brain and Lucky did a lot of gambling. But they lived up to their name. They gambled and they got lucky. They gambled smartly. They used their brains to gamble smartly. And it all worked out in their favor. Thank you for watching. It was a 2v2 there with Brain, Lucky, Doromi, and Byul. I don't do 2v2 or 3v3 that often. I should do them a little bit more often because as we saw this time, 2v2, 3v3, very interesting stuff. Very high-paced. This is like non-stop action. They start the game and they pretty much immediately start fighting, punching, shooting. They just go right in and start blasting.